Hello gamers, and welcome to the final episode of Dark Souls Remastered. What a journey it has been, and I'm genuinely glad to have gone back and properly finished this game. I'm coming out with a better appreciation for Souls game and FromSoft themselves. Now, realistically, going to Gwyn would just be as simple as running it down the Kiln of the First Flame, and that would have been it. So I decided to go and check out what places I missed and see if they were still accessible or doable at this point. With this being said though, there's going to be a lot more narration than me talking during the recording, so it's going to be you and editor Evan here on this ride. So strap in, keep your humanity inside the car at all times, and let's get on with the video. Our first stop, sadly, is to go kill the big Lady Guinevere. We all love Lady D, but Lady G is the true OG of tall queens. Unfortunately, Anor Londo was put under an illusory spell by Big G's tiny little magic-slinging brother Gwyndolin, and the only way to reveal the true state of Anor Londo is by killing the illusion of Guinevere. Why are we doing this? So we can have access to another boss fight, of course. And that boss fight is with Dark Sun Gwyndolin himself.
I am Gwyndolin, and thy transgression shall not go unpunished. Thou shalt perish in the twilight of Anor Londo.
Before that stands a couple of human-looking knights, which we quickly dispatch, and the Dark Moon Knightess herself. I'm glad I didn't do this earlier, because otherwise I might not have been able to upgrade my flasks. Although alternatively, I could have done it with Quilag's sister, but I digress. We defeat these knights and make our way to the box room, which is more an infinite illusory hallway than a boss room.
Heretic. First thou offendeth the Godmother, and now thou see fit to trample upon the tomb of the great Lord. I am the Dark Sun Gwyndolin. Let the atonement for thy felonies commence.
See you, chump. What the hell? Swathed in dark, an eternal curse upon thee.
Once defeated, we carry on to the room at the end and claim a couple of prizes. The Miracle Sunlight Blade, which would have been cool, but I'm not a faithful man. Me strong, me unga, ergo I bunga. We also get the Dark Moon Knightess's brass armor set, pretty cool, but too heavy for my liking. Also, fun tidbit, there's a third but empty chest in this room. I got curious. so I looked up if there was a condition to which there would be something inside the chest, but no. A couple of neat theories were that 1. The Ring of the Sun's firstborn, which we got before the boss fight, was the content of the chest, or 2. That the brass armor worn by the knightess would actually have been here. Either way, all cool theories, but if you know the actual answer, do let me know in the comments below. With another boss dead and loot claimed, we move on to the next point of interest, an incredibly fascinating location that is root to a lot of speculation and theory crafting among the community, Ash Lake. To get to this ethereal location, however, we must wade through Blighttown once again. I know, I hated it the first time, and I still hate it now. On the way, I met our jolly old friend, Siegmeyer, who seems to be in a bit of a pickle with a poison swamp. So we give him some antidote, and we go on our merry way. One more roadblock before we get to the magical lake is the Great Hollow. Now, as the name suggests, the Great Hollow is a massive, and I mean castle-sized, tree that's hollow. The inside is filled with twisting branches and interior canopies, and everyone's favorite, basilisk, and their lovely death blight, is what I would say if I actually like them. They can go die in a fire for all I care. Anyway, we parkour our way down. And let me tell you, Dark Souls 1 was not really built for parkour. I'm just lucky I'm a bit familiar with how to do it. When we do make it to the bottom, we are greeted with this breathtaking view. We come out of the tree and step onto what the area's name says, a shore filled with ash. The view is of a massive, seemingly infinite body of water of unknown depth. Tree trunks of similar stature to the Great Hollow we just passed through fill the distance, rows and rows, line after line. These trees go on far beyond what our undead eyes can see. Are there more Great Hollows? Are there more Erd trees out there? Do each of these great trees represent another country, dimension, another world perhaps? Is this some sort of multiverse? I don't know, just go watch a Vadi video or something. I'm no lore expert. After marveling at this unreal view, we trudge on, and we come across a familiar sight. A Hydra. I mean, it's just minding its own business, and it's all the way down here. I really don't have to interact with it, so I decide to kill it. Because why not, I guess. And it rewards us with Dragon Scale, used to upgrade unique and special weapons in the game. With the Hydra dead and gone, we carry on, walking through this mysterious lake that we find ourselves in. And at the end of all this is the Stone Dragon, one of the last remaining descendants of the everlasting dragons from early on in this world's history. Imagine though, the existential weight of meeting a creature that transcends our own lifetime. It would have witnessed our fathers' fathers, and maybe even more that came before. Would us in real life even be able to comprehend such a creature if we were to meet one in person? It's kind of terrifying, but at the same time, fascinating. So I do what any curious adventurer would do in a scenario like this. I cut off its tail and get a sword out of it. It's a very cool sword. Although I wouldn't recommend cutting an appendage off of a seemingly immortal and long-lived being. If you do ever meet one in real life, they might not be as nonchalant about it as the Stone Dragon. Moving on, in the process of exploring here, we got quite a few dragon skills, so I thought, why not upgrade the Dragon Greatsword? Since I don't really intend on investing the scales on any other weapon, and as kind of a token to celebrate the eve of this adventure's end. To test it out, I tried to see if there were any more large enemies we've left along the way, and I quickly remembered the undead dragon in the Valley of Drakes. I excitedly brandish my new blade and... yeah. A better player does not a great weapon make. We move on to another point of interest, and this time we start back at Firelink. As a matter of fact, we're going back to where it all started, the Northern Undead Asylum. To be able to get back there though, we take the parish lift, and jump off this platform. Do some precarious parkouring here up the buttress. I love that word so much. Buttress. Go inside the window, up the stairs, all the way to the nest of our beloved bad mother. Press interact to curl up in a ball, wait a couple seconds and watch as our avian matriarch whisks us away back to where it all started.
Me? Just hanging around.
First thing you'll notice is that the undead here are a little bit stronger now. Not a whole lot, since we're way too equipped for this place. They carry torches for weapons, and there's seemingly a lot more of them. But Evan, you ask, what's worth finding here? Well, I'm glad you asked, random beautiful internet stranger. In this visit to the Asylum, we want to make it all the way back to our original cell, because there we will find a Black Knight. What a horrible place to be fighting one of these guys, but we take it down very easily. Past the Black Knight is our original cell, and inside we can find a peculiar doll. How did it get here? Why is it here specifically? I have no idea, just like most other things in this game. So please let me know. The item description does say that it belonged to a quote-unquote abomination who was drawn to a cold and painted world. That line is actually a hint of what this doll is for. We will meet this abomination in a bit, but it really doesn't explain how this doll got here. On our way back, the game rudely lets us know that we have gained way too much weight in the process of playing this game by making the floor beneath us give out, dropping us in a room with the stray demon. It's a demon and he's a stray, under where the Asylum demon originally was. How did he get lost? I don't really care to know. All I know is I need to get out, and to do so, I need him dead. He does give us a titanite slab though, so that's pretty neat. On our second attempt to leave, however, it is once again not as easy as we are attacked by our oldest friend, Knight Oscar. He sadly seems to have turned hollow and is now aggressive towards us, so we give him a quick mercy by way of L2 into an R1. RIP Oscar. So where next, you ask? Of course, as the doll in our pocket suggests, we find a cold and painted world. Where? The giant painting in Anor Londo. But before we could reach the painting, we had to go Kingsman on a couple of these culty looking guardian fellas. With the cult dispatched and a doll in hand, we touch the painting and we are taken to the frigid, painted world of Ariamis. Now, for as interesting as this place seems, there really isn't much that happens here. We discover these bloated-looking undead. What are you? They explode when they die. This cool-looking spiral staircase on top of which is the invasion stone thing. And another undead dragon. You know what? What's the worst that could happen? We die? What the fuck? He keeps going. He keeps going. Okay. They just Okay, yeah, no. Will he attack his arms? He does. Am I fast enough? Yeah, I think I'm fast enough to do that. This guy's a lot easier to dupe than the other one. Oh, that's a... Which is a little bit easier to fight than the first one, because at least this one has a clear 3 lanes where he throws up, we take it down, and are rewarded with another dragon scale. Also, his bottom half is still on the bridge wriggling. Kinda fucked up. There are these white rats. I don't know, they're like every rat we've seen, but now they're white, I guess. We get the Guardian armor set so we can look like we're part of the cult as well. Also, there are these phalanx demon-looking guys, which the internet tells me is a great, quick and easy soul farm. These poor bastards, reduced to nothing more than food and fodder for the chosen undead. Next to those spear-wielding, shield-carrying blobs is a well. A fairly unassuming well with a couple of illusory walls. What's behind door number 4? Rolling skeletons. Oh my god! Because fuck me, I guess. I make my way back to the well again, but before I enter this deep, dark, wet hole, I decided to wear extra protection, so we can ward off all of the nasty things that crawl around in it. Ah, isn't this wonderful? Behind the rolling boners we find a wheel. Of course, we crank that soldier boy, and in disappointment of that reference, this statue decides to look the other way, which just so happens to open the door of which we need to go. We run across the bridge, past a couple of more chumps, and we are rewarded with this view. Okay, what hell do we find? Gosh, she's so pretty. I'm so sorry, ma'am. Listen, I'm no furry, but I can change. Or more appropriately, a scaly? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I just think she's pretty, okay? Shut up. So this is crossbreed Priscilla. She is half human, half dragon, and is in fact the abomination that the doll talks about. But how could you call such a thing an abomination? Anyway, as with all my interactions with the female kind, she asks me to leave her and this place alone by jumping off a bridge. Ah, art really does imitate life, doesn't it? Now of course, I know, we can attack her to initiate the boss fight, but I just didn't think it was worth the hassle. There's nothing more that she could give us that would be of use to us right now, so I do as she says and go jump off this bridge. And this takes us back to Anor Londo. How? Fuck if I know. Also, the cultists have respawned. Next and final thing of interest is that door in Darkroot. A little birdie called Search Engine told me that the key is actually with Andre, and that I just had to buy it from him. It would have been a steep price if he wanted to get this earlier, but it's just chump change now for us. So I bought it, opened the door only to realize that it was literally just to take us to the other side. A shortcut to Sif. Before I go, I noticed some of the D&D squad was still here. So I sent them to meet with the rest of their crew, and we are on our way. That being said, we have now pretty much done everything we could at the moment, which leaves us one last thing to do. Reach the end of the Kiln of the First Flame. Before that though, I just want to say, if you made it to this part of the video, thank you. I really appreciate you sitting through this with me. And if you're someone who has watched the older episodes, followed my channel, and stuck with me to this point, thank you as well. I hope you'll be here to watch whatever comes after, but without further ado, let's see how Past Evan fares against the final stretch of the game. Bad mother. this might be the last time that we speak or see each other. Please understand, I've loved you very deeply. You are a ray of sunshine and hope in a world like this. And there's not many of that here. So please, take care of yourself. Take care of Jimmy and Catherine. Take care of them for me. Give them my love. I'll see you on the other side, Mother. This is it. All we've been building up for is waiting for us behind this fog wall. Gwyn. I do know he's notoriously parryable. And as you might have noticed this entire video, I do like my parries. So, I'm gonna do that. Gwyn! I have come for you. Oh! After defeating the Lord of Cinder, I had the wonderful idea of upgrading some of the weapons before touching the bonfire, which I did not know that leaving the arena would take you to the alternate ending, where we leave the world in darkness. And honestly, it's kind of a cool ending, even though I didn't actually meet Karth before. But anyway, yes, indeed, we have reached the conclusion of this adventure. I am genuinely so happy. This series means a lot to me, being a bit of a fake fan of Souls games, liking them but never getting to finish most of them just because I didn't understand them well enough, and also I just didn't have the mechanical skill back then. Safe to say now, I have finished Dark Souls 1 properly. I'm also very happy to have completed a whole project by way of starting this whole YouTube thing. I only really wanted to share my experiences with people, but also I was looking for a creative outlet, one that I can enjoy the process of creating to refresh myself from my day-to-day monotony. Once again, thank you so much to you who watched this video and maybe followed my channel from before. I would really like to keep this going, so please, if you feel so inclined, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in Dark Souls 2. Bonus clip, just some post-credits thing I wanted to share. A friend and I did a co-op playthrough and I did a more optimized strength build. Here's a clip of me destroying Gwyn in like 30 seconds. I hope this makes you feel better. Enjoy. Anyway, thanks again. Bye!